Potential Week Bat Rap.
Hey everybody, during Dark Potential Week and until the end of March 2013, we're offering special Dark Potential Army deals where you can get an entire Dark Potential starter army for around $100. It'll save you over 30% off the normal cost, and you get free shipping worldwide. Go to darkpotential.com/army deals or click on the link below for more details.
Hey there, MiniWarGamers. Owen here from MiniWarGaming with Jay and Mike. But you guys know these guys because they've already been showing up in Dark Potential Week. We are playing yet another game of Dark Potential. This time it is a foraging game at 350 points between Reclaimers and Corporation. Start off with Jay's army here, Reclaimers. And pretty straightforward. He's got the 2 forward observers with grab packs, and then everybody else is just basic, no upgrades. His commander, 2 units, and neighbors. On the other side, we have Mike's army of Corporation. The other way around, mostly upgrades. We have the commander, he's got grab mines and smoke grenades. Smoke grenades, a sniper with a grab pack, another sniper with a grab pack, I assume. The heavy launcher's got just the heavy launcher. Yep. And then 2 groups of infantry with smoke grenades. And there are 8 objectives scattered about the board here. Every one of those little beads is another one. And at the end of turn 6, whoever has the most points wins. So here we are deployed. Now Jay is going to get first turn. Here is the Corporation all spread out on this side. On the other side we've got the Reclaimers all behind walls. And turn 1, you can only shoot up to range man 2.
So we start off with Reclaimer's turn 1, and he begins by running his forward observer right up onto the rooftop there. After a little bit of a debate about how he wants to position him so he doesn't get sniped by the snipers on the far end of the board. His unit of initiates move up on the left side, and now it just becomes a matter of who he wants where and what he can do to try and grab that objective as well. Because it is, in the end, who has most objectives that's going to win the game. But at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice your squads. His other forward observer jumps on top of a building, and then he moves up his squad in the center. And they're going to be taking cover behind that wall and watching down the center alleyway there, along with his commander, who has followed up with them. And that's it. Turn 1 Corporation begins. He moves up his director, running up to take cover, hugging the corner of that building to give him a little bit of defense. And then running his sniper up on top of the rooftop next to him in order to look down on the hallway, or the alleyway rather, that they're all looking down. And then his group of recruits moves up on the left side as well, or it's the right side from this point of view, but basically he's moving up to counter the initiates who are moving up on the same side. So he runs up with a whole squad of 5. And from there he moves on to the other end of the board where his other sniper jumps up onto a rooftop. And his other group of initiates take off. Well, first his flame launcher moves up, and then his initiates start running. And they come running up around the corner. And there we go. And then the rest of the initiates just kind of follow through. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's 4, and 5 tucks behind the wall. And that's it. So this is the end of turn 1. Nothing really happened. I mean, everyone just kind of advanced up, got ready. But turn 2 is when the game really opens up and the shooting will begin. So turn 2 begins with the Reclaimer forward observer advancing up and looking down on the unit of recruits on the right side of the board. He needs a 6 or less. He does easily get that, so they are now marked. He then shoots a Redeemer rocket from across the map at them, which does slightly miss, but he uses one of its points. See, that's what he's doing the shot. Because of the mark, it can then shoot through the building. So he does hit. He needs a 5 or less to kill the guy directly under the rocket. And we got a little bit confused here about whether or not he'd actually have to roll a 5. But in the end, I won, and they do have to roll a 5. And it kills that guy. And then the 2 guys around him, it actually kills them as well. So he loses 3 of his guys right off the bat to a Redeemer rocket and then fails the morale check. So they are broken, but he does use one of their points to try and reroll, which unfortunately does not rally him. So that unit on the right is now broken. On the other end, the initiates come walking out in the open, looking at the group of recruits who are now on that same side. and they open fire on them. Now he's only able to see 4 of them, but he does get a lot of hits, and he needs 5 or less to do wounds. He gets 3 wounds and uses one of his command points to adjust it down to a 5, so he gets 4 wounds in total, killing 4 out of 5 of the recruits. Only 1 recruit survives, and he actually makes his leadership check because he was near the director at the time. In the center of the board, looking down on the director, he has his forward observer move up, who spots the director. He needs a 5 or less to hit. He misses, but he can use a point, and he now tries to reroll, which he easily gets it. So he is now marked as well, and the squad of infantry right beside him fire away. They get a few hits. Now he made a mistake. It's actually he needs a 2 or less, not a 4 or less to do a wound. So he gets 1 wound using 1 point, 2 wounds using another point, and then he uses 2 more points to make it 3 wounds. So he does 3 wounds to the commander, or to the director, but the director does make his morale check, even though they now used almost all of their command points. But his commander moves up. We were trying to find out a line of sight, but he unfortunately couldn't see the director. So he moves over and picks up the objective. He now fires another Redeemer rocket at the director, seeing as he is marked, but he rolls to re-roll the hit because he needs a 4 or less, which he does get. So 4 or less, he gets a direct hit on the commander. 4 or less to wound, does a wound, so the director is down to 1 wound, and then he fails his morale check on boxcars and is broken. Corporation turns begin. He fires his sniper at the forward observer on the rooftop, and he was going to spend 1 point to adjust his roll by 1, but he ended up using it to re-roll instead, then uses the other point to adjust the roll up to a 5. So he does 3 wounds to the forward observer and kills him outright. The infantry squad, they try to rally, but they don't move, they just sit there, and they do in fact rally. Before the flame launcher moves up, and he goes on overwatch, facing towards that center alleyway. The director shoots at the rooftop trying to hit, but unfortunately he doesn't get anything there. But he does rally, so he's no longer broken. And the sniper now fires down at the infantry in the alleyway there. He uses 1 point to re-roll, which gives him a hit, and he does a wound, and that is the end of that infantryman. And they have to do a morale check, but they easily pass. And then his other recruit, he moves out on the outside. Now, he had a choice here. He could either stop and pick up the objective, which means the initiates are just going to walk around the corner and kill him, or hopefully jump around the corner and get a few hits and kill off a few initiates, because their morale is only 5. So all you need is a wound or 2 and they break. But unfortunately, he was not able to hit. So at the end of turn 2, the corporation's getting pretty battered, but they did kill the forward observer. They killed one of the infantry guys over there. Though the director is now down to 1 wound, one of their squads is down to 2 guys, and the last one's down to 1. So click below for part 2 and see if they can turn this game around.